I wanted to talk a little about what chaos is. Chaos is different to everybody. Some people get all upset when they're in a traffic jam. Other people just can deal with the most difficult things and make it seem so easy, and they can do it without any great seemingly effort on their part. But you know what? There are a lot of things we are all up against in our lifetime. And I look back into my lifetime and I think, oh my gosh, there have been so many times that I've had difficult times. I remember when my mother was taken by ambulance and I had to rush over to get to her side. And I was over an hour away, and by the time I got there, I didn't know how I was going to find her and how difficult it was. And I had a schedule trying to get rid of my dog for that moment, and I had to take care of getting myself to where she was at what hospital, and then I had to figure out how I was going to help her after she was released from the hospital, and hopefully that this wasn't a major thing in her life, that she would survive it. And so that was one thing. I also went through that for 7 years with both my mom and my dad. My dad had lung surgery, he had cancer, he had a stroke, he just had many, many things that were difficult. In my own life, I lost a baby and I had to go through all that crisis. And so many times along the line with people in my family who've had cancer and people in my family who have been very, very hurt. My husband almost died on two different occasions, and I have a whole talk on that I can give if I needed to anyone. So I want to just say to all of you out there that when you are dealing with a crisis, it can be a little crisis where you just have a teenager that's running amok and you keep getting calls from the school. You can be getting all kinds of things, from the police department. You can get all kinds of problems that are really major things. They're just as important to you as some little insignificant thing is to your neighbor. So I think we just have to be so very kind to each other and so gracious to one another, and just know that times will come in our lives when we will have to deal with chaos. And the way we do it is different for each of us. I do have to say, though, that we can be kind to each other. And when you are in a spot where you have some difficulty, have somebody in place that you can go to. And I don't always mean it has to be a good friend. It can be a coach. It can be a psychotherapist. It can be somebody who you can rely on, that you're going to get good information and you're going to get tools to help you get through that particular issue. And sometimes the issue isn't resolved in 1 week or 1 month or 1 year. It can be ongoing. I've had a husband who's been incapacitated for 29 years. And so it's ongoing things with him. And it's all kinds of obstacles that I've had to learn to deal with myself, like prioritizing things, knowing when something is very serious and when something is not so serious. So it's important to all of us to know what we're up against and then to deal with it in a really easygoing way. And if you need help with any of that, please know that I'm here to help you and to give you guidance along the way.